Hi, I'm Chris Lewis, Executive Director of the Great American Songbook Foundation. Welcome to day 2 of our celebration honoring Peggy Lee and inducting her into the Great American Songbook Hall of Fame. Today we're joined by our friends from the GRAMMY Museum. The Songbook Foundation is proud and honored to be a cultural affiliate of the GRAMMY Museum, one of only 7 in the world. Today, our friends from the museum are joining us to talk about a new exhibit they have celebrating Peggy Lee, which is just incredible. Hope you enjoy and tune in tomorrow for our induction, albeit virtual, of Peggy Lee into the Songbook Hall of Fame.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Gels, and I'm the Associate Curator at the GRAMMY Museum. Thank you so much to the Great American Songbook Foundation for inviting me to share my experience curating a digital exhibit about Peggy Lee, one of this year's Hall of Fame inductees. Back in March, the GRAMMY Museum closed its doors to the public due to the global pandemic. And about 1 week later, we launched our Museum at Home initiative, which aimed to deliver our public programs, education lessons, and exhibits to the homes of our patrons. Although our doors are closed, we remain dedicated to our mission to explore and celebrate the enduring legacies of the creative process behind all forms of music. The GRAMMY Museum's curatorial team, including myself, began gathering content from past exhibits. This included photos of the exhibits in the museum, artifact captions, select media content, exhibit text, and playlists. Each week, we made another one of our past exhibits available online so people could read, watch, learn, and listen from home. Then in May, it came time to celebrate the 100th birthday of Peggy Lee. As part of Peggy's centennial celebration, we were given the opportunity to curate a digital exhibit highlighting her remarkable career. This became our first exhibit that was curated from home and specifically for the web. Before the pandemic, we were lucky enough to feature some of Peggy's gorgeous accessories in the museum's third-floor galleries where we highlight the history of the Grammy Awards. So I was already acquainted with Peggy Lee's granddaughter and president of the Peggy Lee Archives, Holly Foster Wells. However, this time, I was unable to visit with Holly and select artifacts from the archives. And instead, Holly and I hopped on Zoom, spoke a lot on the phone during the months leading up to Peggy's 100th birthday. Holly has a tremendous amount of artifacts digitized and photographed, so I was granted access to this digital Peggy Lee archive, which I explored from my home. Holly also gave me access to Dr. Tish Oney's new book, Peggy Lee, A Century of Song, which at the time was not yet available, but now it is. So I began working on putting together the digital exhibit. I had my resources, my books to read, digitized artifacts to sort through, and of course, Peggy's incredible catalog of music, and even some videos of her performing. I decided that since Peggy Lee had such a long and prolific life and career, I wanted to highlight her career milestones and accomplishments in each decade of her life, from the 1930s through the 2000s. I was able to share scans of program booklets from Peggy Lee's earliest performances, back when she was Norma Eggstrom in North Dakota, competing in her town's one-act play contest in the mid-1930s. Another small booklet I selected was made by the local radio station and announced that Peggy Lee was making her debut as their new singer. This was the first instance of her new stage name showing up in print back in 1938. Then in the 1940s, Peggy joined Benny Goodman's band and met Dave Barber, who would become her husband, the father of her child, and her greatest musical collaborator. For this decade, I chose a magazine feature, some sheet music, and some wonderful recordings of Peggy singing her timeless hits, Why Don't You Do Right and It's a Good Day. Other artifacts in the digital exhibit showed how Peggy ventured into acting and singing in films, hitting the charts around the world. She performed on television with other legendary singers, received Grammy nominations, and later performed on Broadway. She really did it all. For the sections highlighting the 90s and the 2000s, I selected announcements from her final performances at the Hollywood Bowl and Carnegie Hall, and then the tribute performances that took place at those same venues after she passed away. So, although curating from home presented its own challenges, I couldn't have asked for a better subject, and I can only imagine that Peggy Lee would be so incredibly proud of Holly for the care and organization she has treated her grandmother's legacy and belongings with. The digital exhibit was released on Peggy Lee's 100th birthday, along with a pre-taped Zoom panel discussion and birthday toast that featured Holly, Billie Eilish, Katie Lang, Eric Burton of the Black Pumas, Dr. Tish Oni, and was moderated by the Grammy Museum's own Scott Goldman. Since we released this very first exhibit curated for the web, the Grammy Museum has released another called Road to the Grammy Awards, and we have made many more of our past exhibits available online. I'm so proud to have been part of Peggy Lee's centennial celebration, and I look forward to working on a physical exhibit about her career when it is safe to do so. But for now, I hope you'll take a look at the digital exhibit and pay us a visit when we're able to open our doors again. Congratulations to Peggy Lee for her induction into the Great American Songbook Hall of Fame, and thank you again to the Songbook Foundation for including the Grammy Museum in their celebrations. I hope you have a good day.